Hello, everyone. We are here to talk about money making for moms. I'm making sure we are streaming everywhere so we don't miss anyone. So I'm doing a quick check of Instagram. We should be live over there. I'm doing a triple check. Okay, I see that we are live on Instagram. I see that we are live on YouTube. Let's talk about helping moms make money. I am here with the amazing Steven from Rainmaker. We're going to talk and give you some tips. So, this is one where if you're on your lunch break, like tag your friends, tag your mom friends, send this to your wife, your girlfriend, your partner, anybody that you think who is going to be interested in making money or who needs money with the rising costs. This is one you don't want to miss. It's also one you're going to want to revisit and come back and take notes. Steven, I want you to introduce yourself and then we're going to jump into our conversation. But if you are here, let us know where you are joining from in the comments. We're going to give you a lot of value in like 20, 25 minutes worth of time. So this is really, really, really worth it today. Steven, tell me a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about Rainmaker and then let's chat.
Cool, let's do it. I know it's weird. Usually I have Chelsea next to me, my wife. She's actually very pregnant with our third and in first trimester. So you know how that
Okay.
goes. So
Yeah.
it's just me today, but we're usually here together telling our story. It's something that like I feel like we couldn't have even dreamed up, but it really came out of a place of pain. Really just like, man, we want to create more income for our family. We are working a job that was really, input in, input out, right? Like we put
Yeah.
hours in, we make some money, but if we didn't show up, we didn't make any money. And so really it put us on this journey of how could we increase our income? How could we increase our impact without like taking away tons of time from family? Because we love being with our boys. We love raising a family. We love being really present with them. And that's really where the idea of the Rainmaker family started.
Okay. Awesome. So I think a lot of moms can relate to that. I can totally relate to that. Also, congratulations on your third
Dang.
baby. That's exciting. I'm a mom of two. I've got two toddlers, so a 2-year-old and a
Oh
3-year-old.
man. So
Um, I
fun.
I think first trimester tired, and also I had severe hyperemesis gravidarum, so like the morning sickness
Oh
was like
man.
really real, and so I know exactly what
Yeah.
that feels like. And so hope that she is resting. We are sending her our love and positive energy for her health
Thank
and
you.
healthy baby. So absolutely love, love, love that, and thank you for sharing about that pain point of like where something beautiful was born. Um, so let's talk about more about like what inspires you even more. Like
Yeah.
why moms? Like why is
Mm.
it specific to helping moms build businesses and generate income?
Yeah. I guess I'll take you back to the story that kind of created it all. So we were wedding photographers. My wife and I, we did that
Oh,
for 10
nice.
plus 10, just a little over 10 years. We were in that business, started it super young, like right out of college. Actually, yeah, right out of college, right before we got married, we started this business together. And our first little apartment we got this little loft and we would just it was one bedroom, one bathroom, just like I think it was like 600 square feet, this whole thing. And then we kind of go up this little spiral staircase and like edit our wedding photos in this little loft. And I'm like pretty tall, you can't tell on camera, but I would have to like duck to like get to the computer to like edit. And that was like kind of where we cut our teeth with, being an entrepreneur. But really it was kind of a 9 to 5 job. We'd edit all
Okay.
day, we'd do client emails, and then we'd shoot on the weekends. And it was a good, I feel like, gig for us. However, it just had its limitations. And as
Yeah.
we started to really grow that business, it was exciting, but then it became not exciting because it got to the
Yeah.
point where we were shooting 40 plus weddings a year. And I mean, there's only
Wow.
52 weekends in a year, and the wedding
Yeah.
season is not all year, right? So
No.
it'd be like May, we'd have 7 or 8 weddings. And we lived in this small town that was like 100 degrees outside, in the summer. And so we just had these grueling, sweaty, just carrying camera days. And then we'd get up the next day and do it again, right? We'd do like double headers. And you guys, excuse me, I'm recovering from a little bit of a cough. So I might choke a little bit. But I remember that season was really where we started to hit, I would say, burnout. And maybe
Okay.
some of your listeners are relating where it's like, man, I feel like I want to bring more income in for my family, but I just literally can't give more of my time. Maybe they're a
Yeah.
nurse and it's like, I can only work so many swing shifts, 12-hour shifts. That's kind of how it was for weddings. And we had hit this wall of just like burnout, right? Of like, man, our friends are stopped calling us, our family stopped calling us. We couldn't even dream about having a family at that point, right? Because it was like,
Yeah.
when is there time for kids in this?
Yeah.
And so looking forward to being like, man, we want to start a family. Also, you don't see a ton of like older wedding photographers. We just knew like this is like a grueling thing for a season. It's fun, but it's not forever. We're traveling all the time, and we wanted to have kids. And so this is what put us on kind of the journey of like looking for passive income, like searching the internet for passive income. And when you start Googling passive income, you can end up in some interesting places, right? There's a lot of
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
that's like great. There's a lot of stuff that's like totally scams. And I feel like we kind of chased the mythical beast of passive income around the internet, bought all the programs, did all the webinars,
Yeah.
and honestly started a bunch of side hustles. Like we were just kind of like side hustle king and queen, doing the wedding thing during the day and then like doing side hustles. And looking back on that season, we kind of call it lovingly the spaghetti season, where you're just kind of like throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what's going to stick. And
Yeah.
maybe some of your users relate, right? Like your audience is like, man, I've done that. I've tried the thing. I'm selling on Etsy. I'm doing this thing. And I think the most frustrating thing for us was like everything kind of worked. Like it was like,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
it just like kind of work, and then this kind of work, and then this kind of work. But now we're like adding more time to our play, and now we're like shooting weddings and trying to manage this thing and trying to run an Airbnb and trying to like run a photo booth. And it just like was like overextending us, overwhelming us, and just contributing more and more to that burnout. And looking back now, we kind of identified the mistake that we made, and the mistake was we just kept adding things that didn't actually have a lot of time freedom built into them. They had things that like sounded good, but then ended up being, pretty time consuming, right? And so one of the things that we were doing at the time was we were selling these little toys. And we were mostly selling them off Instagram. We were kind of had this little Instagram page, and we would sell these toys. And at the time, I heard about this program that Amazon has that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people buy off Amazon, but they don't really know where the products come from.
Yeah.
But Amazon has this program called FBA, which stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. And it basically allows anyone to put products on Amazon's site. And then Amazon will actually take those products and ship them to the customers for you. And
Nice.
actually, like 60% of products you buy on Amazon are from actually small business owners that are using this kind of system. And so we were selling these little toys at the time. They're like these little, like kind of fidgety, like desk toys, like wooden toys.
Okay.
And we put them up on Amazon. We heard about this program. It was like, this sounds amazing. Cause remember, we're like shooting weddings and then like packing orders and shipping them at our house. Like it was just like taking
Yeah.
so much time. So when I heard, okay, I could pay Amazon a small fee and like they'll do the shipping for me, game on. So I ship them a box of like, 500 of these things. And this is 2017, and it's the year of the fidget spinner. I don't know if you remember the fidget spinners, like those
Yes.
little like, oh my gosh, those things like took over the internet. And our toy was like not a fidget spinner, but it was a fidgety toy. And so we started just getting like that overflow kind of traffic. And that's where we started to see like, whoa, like we're now shipping orders every single day, and Amazon shipping them. Actually, we're not shipping them.
Yeah.
And we were making $100 a day, $500 a day, $1,000 a day. And really, I think the turning point, was we were sitting at a wedding. This is like, we're still shooting weddings, but we have this Amazon thing going. And you get one break in the day, and it's like the end of the day, you're shooting, it's dinner time, right? You got like 10 minutes to
Yep.
kind of like eat off your lap in the corner.
Yeah.
And we would pull out our phones and like we checked our Amazon app that day. And it was that day that we had made more on Amazon passively than we had made shooting this wedding, which was like thousands of dollars.
Wow.
And that was it. Like when we like kind of had gotten to that point, it was like the weight got lifted off of like, whoa, we could take on less weddings next year. We could actually have some Saturdays free. We could start the family. Like we could have time freedom, remote, freedom, like location freedom. And that was really, I think, when Chelsea really saw it too. And she was like,
Yep.
I'm all in, let's do this thing. And really, that's what happened. The next year, we're able to be more picky with the weddings we took on. And eventually, that it actually retired us out of the wedding industry, replaced our wedding income completely. And honestly, that's what led to us just like starting the Rainmaker family because we were so excited about the results we were having. And we're like,
Yeah.
this is crazy. Everyone needs to, we're like telling all of our wedding friends, like our photographer friends. And it kind of was like a friend and then a friend of a friend. And then like we were teaching complete strangers. And where the mom thing came out of was really when we had our own kids, when we had our first son, Kai. And now on Saturdays, we didn't need to leave him, you know?
Yeah.
We could be there, go to farmer's market. Like we had that time freedom. It was like, whoa, like this is the vehicle that allows families to be home, to raise world changers, but not have to like sacrifice like being a driven individual, wanting to like contribute and like make an income. I think a lot of moms, in the society we live in, it's not really built for us family first, minded people
Yeah.
because it's like, hey, go get the job, climb the corporate ladder, work, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. And we had finally figured out kind of the key to get out of that system. And so
Yeah.
that's where we just started telling people about it. And that's where the Rainmaker family is born. Now we've taught thousands of moms how to do this process. And in our community now, this is a fun stat. We have another mom crossing six figures. So that's $100,000 every 11.7 days on average. So like every
Wow.
basically 2 weeks, we have another mom hitting six figures using this same system that we had pioneered kind of back then. And it's not just selling fidget toys and things like that. We really kind of that's what we caught the bug, but then we reverse engineered and figured out um how to actually take advantage of kind of what's going on Amazon. People are already on there every day buying, I think it's like $18,000 a second on Amazon,
Wow.
you know?
Yeah.
It's like, can we just get a little piece of that? Like if we just get a
Yeah.
tiny piece of that, like game on, you know? So that's the Rainmaker family history and story.
I love that. I the stats are like, wow, like every 1100 or every 11-ish
Every
days,
11
like
days,
there's a
yeah.
new mom making over six figures. That is life changing. I can tell you, I work full time right now. I do not make that. And I definitely am not coming across that in a matter of like months of work, right? Like you got to go through the
Totally.
corporate process of the annual review and is there enough money for a raise and all of that. And so
Yeah.
to hear me like who has experience with MLMs and side hustling and like, okay, what's the next thing that I can do, because my motivation is to be able to do more with my family, to
Totally.
have more time to play with my kids and explore and see the world through their eyes, to make some more things possible for them. This is like really resonating for me because it's not like, hey, I'm just giving you this thing. Y'all are getting to know the families. You know the number
Yeah.
of these parents and you know the impact that it had on you and your family, and it wasn't that long ago. We're talking less
Yeah.
than 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
um
It's wild.
using a system. And so what's one like powerful success story of a
Mm.
mom who used what you offer at Rainmaker to change like her financial situation?
Yeah, I mean, we've been interviewing a lot of the stories on our podcast. It's called the Rainmaker Family Show. We just had this gal Jessica on. She's such a sweet gal, and she came to us. She was a single mom at the time. She was working as an occupational therapist, so talking long days, right? Heavy lifting. You're lifting people off beds and all these things, and her work. She was in Miami. It was an hour and a half away, so now she's like getting up early, driving an hour and a half, missing her kids, wanting just to be there to like take them to school, drop them off. Like that was literally like her heart's desire was not like make six figures. Like it was like literally, I just want to like pray over my kids as I drop them off at school. Like I'm missing these moments. And that's like a lot of the moms that come to us are feeling that way, whether they're working the job or stay at home. Like they want more flexibility, And so
Yeah.
Jessica was very much like that. And she just started listening to our podcast, listen to like hundreds of episodes in that hour and a half drive, right? Like to work
Yeah.
there and back, there and back. And finally jumped into one of our programs and launched a product. She profited, I think it was like $20,000 on her first product. And
Wow.
she was like doing the math on like how long it would have taken me to make $20,000 as an
Yeah.
occupational therapist. And as soon as she did the math, she like quit her job. She like quit the job and
Yeah.
she's like, I'm going all in on this. And she ended up moving her family out of Miami into like North Carolina. It's like an even better place to like raise her family. She met her now husband, and so it was just super cool to see this like family transformation. Now she's back home with
Yeah.
the kids, running the Amazon business full time, no longer doing the occupational therapy thing. And I think the most powerful thing she said was, she said thank you to us because she said you gave mom back to my kids. And that just like it like tears me up because I
Uh,
just know the power of a mom freed up to be with their kids and dads, like we've had stories of dads who, were working two jobs and now they're not. And they're there with the kids making
yeah.
breakfast. Like the power of that is huge. And so that's why I'm excited to get this out to the world and help more families step into that freedom.
Yeah. I love that story. I just love hearing people kind of like taking the path and finding something that I listen to podcasts and things on my commute. I'm sure my kids, they're 2 and 3, are probably like, we could easily play like Bluey songs or like Coco
Yeah,
Melon, but
yeah.
I'm like, this is kind of a time where I get to like digest some information and um have listened to and viewed like a lot of different podcasts and then finally said, okay, let me find out more about them, or
Yeah,
let me start my own podcast because I'm not hearing, this sort of thing. And that led me
totally.
to Parent Porch, right? Which is now
Yeah.
leading me to you and hearing about this program to help other families. And I just want you to know I signed up yesterday. So like,
Love it.
so this is not just me like thinking like Steven and your story, your organization is cool. Like I signed up and I texted to my mom friend last night,
That's awesome.
and was super excited to do this because I'm like, there's something special happening here. And if you can like follow the system of people who've done this for themselves and you hear these stories, like it lets you know what's possible. I don't ever see like, the market's saturated. I'm like, this is a person who found success. And I'm not hearing that success story a lot. There might be a lot of people who dip their toe in it, but
Oh, yeah.
are people like going all in? And how can we go all in an easy like way? So with that, tell me like what are some strategies and resources that Rainmaker provides to help moms and parents manage both,
Yeah.
both this like building an income and like parenting.
Yeah, yeah. That's huge. We kind of have three and the Rainmaker family, dads can do it too. Like,
Yeah.
but we do have a primarily an audience of moms that are doing it right now. And we have these three mama archetypes, we call them. And so
Okay.
we have people like kind of self-assess when they're coming in where they're landing. So I could even just give your audience it and then you kind of figure it out because how
Yeah.
you show up is kind of different based on your situation. So
Yep.
we have like, we have this quadrant we draw out and we basically are like, okay, on the left hand side is like how much money, like free money you have kind of in your life, or financial flexibility, let's call it. And then on the bottom kind of access is how much time freedom, right? Because these are really the
Yep.
two things that people come to us for. I want financial freedom, I want time freedom.
Yep.
And so some moms come in and they're kind of, we call them the hustle mama. They're going to be a little higher in that left quadrant where, they got two incomes coming into their household. They're, husband's working, they're working, and, it's a good income. They might still feel like it's paycheck to paycheck or they can't go on vacations as much as they want. But really, their thing they really want is time freedom. They're like, I
Yep.
want to be there with the kids. So they have like a little higher money, lower time, right? That's what we
Yep.
call a hustle mama. We have on the other side, which is like a lot of time, but not as much money. We call it the boxed mama. And she's like usually
Mm,
the stay at home mom. And we call her the boxed mama because she has so much potential. Oftentimes she was climbing the corporate career or had like the amazing job, but then had kids and like loves her
yep.
kids. Like her kids are her everything. And that's amazing. But she's still like driven, right? She's still
Yep.
like, I want to do something. And we often find the box mama doing the MLMs or trying the other things like, but she just hasn't found the vehicle to really bring in the money, but she has time, right? She's got time.
Yep.
And then we have this third quadrant. This is like what we call the stuck mama. And my heart goes out to the stuck mamas. That's definitely, Jessica's story where low time, low money, right? Like she's working
Yep.
a job or two jobs, but she's paying for childcare. She's a single mom and just stretched thin. And so those three kind of archetypes, once you kind of know which one you are, we have pathways to move you towards what we call the Rainmaker Mama, which is time freedom
Okay.
and financial freedom. And how you do it is different, right? If you have a little more money, there's going in, there's things you can do to move a little faster and save time. If you have more time but less money, there's things you can do that take some time but don't cost as much money.
Okay.
And I would say the big thing that we teach right from the get go is something we call the how can I mindset.
Okay.
And, you know, I think a lot of our default sometimes growing up is just like, I can't, right? Like, it's just like,
Yep.
I remember we had this job come in one time and it was this huge job. This is when we were in the videography, photography world. And it was like it was such a big job that my immediate response was like, I can't, there's no way I could shoot that myself. It was like 60 locations and like all this stuff. And that I can't mindset, if that's your default, it can really limit you. And so we made this shift in that season to start asking, how could I? Right. Like we
Yeah.
replaced I can't with like, how could I do this? And that one mindset, like we were able to lock in that job and it like 10x our income. And we still apply that to this day with Amazon and with working. And so even for moms who are like, man, like, I mean, we just had a gal on our show this week and she was like, working a full-time job that she actually loves. She didn't want to leave the job. She's got kids. And so her how can I was like, I'm gonna do this at night. Like I'm literally gonna like
Mm.
work during my day. I'm gonna put my kids down, be mom, and like do dinner and all that stuff. As soon as they're down, you know, she's like 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. I'm crushing it like I'm building the business, right? And we have other moms, maybe they're stay-at-home mom, but they can't afford a nanny, right? But they're like, I need some deep work time for my business. So they do swaps with friends. They get a friend involved.
Ah,
And it's like, hey, I'm taking your kids on Mondays and Wednesdays. You're taking my kids on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to help each other build businesses in the off time, right? Like, so then they freed their time up without costing them anything and now they have time to like build the business. So, I mean, the business isn't that time intensive. I would say if you have, you know, 5 to 15 hours a week to devote to it,
okay.
you can do this thing. But sometimes people have those limiting mindsets like, I can't, there's no time, you know, but really we put time into things we value. And,
Yeah.
you know, I find, you know, just look at your screen time, right? Like on your phone. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, there's some time there. We can figure this out. If you value building doing something like this, creating more financial stability for your family, excuse me, there's that cough again, then it's
Yeah.
worth the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you say 5 hours, I'm like, okay, hour a day. Like
Yeah.
if I start
Yeah.
with an
Hour a
hour a
day.
day, give yourself an hour a day,
Totally.
Monday through Friday, right? Or whatever the 5 days of the week are.
Yep.
Or if you give yourself an hour a day, 7 days a week, you've got 7 hours, right? Where
Totally.
you can start and go all in during that hour. Maybe that's the kids' nap time. Maybe that's an hour after the kids go to sleep. Maybe that's your lunch break at work,
Yeah.
right?
Totally.
Uh, to try, right? And I love that, and I love the buckets, right? Because I could
Yeah.
see, I was thinking about, okay, yeah, I know moms like that. Okay, yeah, I'm that mom. Okay,
Yeah.
yep, I know moms like that, and so I really like love that, and I love the mindset, the like, what can I?
Mm.
That has come up a couple of times for me this week in different ways, where it's like, what can't?
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time saying like what I can't do, but like
Mhm.
what can I do? How do I adjust those like
Totally.
limiting beliefs to say what I can do and what I can be? And I love that. What are the You kind of answered this for the mindset shift. So let's talk about
Yeah.
getting involved with Rainmaker. This is your time to tell us like what do we need to do. I want y'all also to pay attention to the link that we have
Yeah.
scrolling so you can go see what we have partnered with, of course, with you at Rainmaker. But tell us, I definitely want you to tell us about Rain Games, but I also want you to tell us
Okay.
about all the other like programs that you have that right now somebody today viewing this live stream as soon as we get done can go and check out.
Totally. Yeah, honestly, the rain games, we don't do live events like this very often. It might only happen once a year and it's happening on Monday. So like that's definitely if you're going to jump into something, do that. And typically we do charge for those, like usually 50 to $100. But
Hmm.
we're hooking the parent porch up and you can get in actually for free. And so the rain games idea came from, I don't know if you watched the Beast Games or Squid Games. There's like a lot of these kind of like game show type
Yeah.
shows where a bunch of people are competing for something. We're like, man, that'd be fun to do it for our Rainmaker community. And so we put together a $75,000 prize that you can compete for starting on Monday. We have over 1,000 people registered for it, and one person will walk away with that $75,000. It's a business startup fund, and so it'll cover
Nice.
your education, and we'll invest in some inventory for you, and a lot of
Nice.
the stuff that you might need for the business, like photography and LLCs, like we'll basically cover all that for you if you win. But there's also daily prizes the further you get in the games. And so we're giving away like MacBooks and Louis Vuitton purses. And the reason we do this is because we love incentivizing people to take action.
Yeah.
Um, sometimes you just need that friend who's like, hey, you can do this thing, and I believe in you so much. I'm willing to bet my own money on it. And
Yeah.
we really believe in families. We believe now is a season for families to step into financial freedom and start
Yes.
building something for their own that's kind of outside the normal system. And so, yeah, the Rain Games starts on Monday. It's rainmakerlinks.com. You can see it in the little ticker. Rainmakerlinks.com/parent porch is a special link. You'll get the free access to the Rain Games. And then what it is, like logistically, is we'll go live every day for 5 days, and we'll train you on how the business works, how you find, products to sell. Like, what are the qualifiers for those types of products? Like, we'll teach you about the Rainmaker method and all those things. So at the end of the Rain Games, you can kind of decide, do I want to go after this business and start this thing? Or, hey, was that helpful information, but I'm going a different route. So whatever route you take, it's an incredible experience to just learn live. And there's even a way, if you go through the Rain Games link, you can hop on backstage with us as well. It's an optional upgrade,
Nice.
but you can hop on backstage with me and like ask questions with some of our coaches. So that's definitely, if you're gonna do something, do the Rain Games. Of course, you can check out our Instagram, the Rainmaker family. We're always posting stuff on there, but we only do the live events very infrequently because we value our time freedom. And so we built
Yeah.
the business in a way that like gives our family a lot of time freedom. So when we do lives, we make a big deal out of them, and
Yeah.
you show up. So
We caught you in time because there is still plenty of time, right? To
yeah,
join, to get ready for Monday. To think about, I don't even want, like, you just gave us like a mindset tip of like, I can't do this. Like, how can I do this? 5 days, you're going live. It's maybe an hour, like total, where throughout, like, you're literally going to learn something every day. Where at the end of the week,
yeah,
you've got a business probably ready to go. Like, I don't know anywhere. I can tell you in my own experience, sometimes like you kind of get the runaround. You're hearing about this thing and
yeah,
someone says, they're telling you the results. Here's the thing that I've done to be able to do this from home. And then when you try to get in there, it's like this runaround. And you're
yeah,
offering a free like opportunity, a free challenge for you to get these nuggets every single day in chunks. By the end of the week, here it is. You didn't invest anything but time, and you have the opportunity to win $75,000 that helps you like, whoa, win in a major way. And then there's daily prizes. Like, I that like blew me away when I was looking into it, like to prepare for today. And I was like, oh yeah, I gotta sign up tonight and I gotta send this to my girl. Like, immediately was like, gotta send it to my girl. While we're talking, I'm like, oh shoot, there's somebody else I need to text, like to jump on right now.
That's
There's
epic.
another mom that I know would be like all in with this. And even the people who are skeptical, I think the free challenges are the way to go, especially with someone like you who's willing to come in here and give you the advice that like people have paid for, and you're saying we're going to do it for free to pour into you to help change your family's life right now. I think that's a beautiful thing. um, what are, like, as we're getting ready to leave, what are like 3 things you want to tell people to make them go to rainmakerlinks.com/parent porch and say, like, I can, like, what are some promises you can make, or what are some mindsets you want them to have to push them over the hump? Because we all know there's like some anxiety,
Yeah,
there's some fear. People kind of fear, people don't necessarily fear change, they do fear loss. And sometimes
yeah.
what gets in the way of us moms is like, what am I going to lose
Mm.
if I do this? So, like, what are some advice you can give us to move us over the hump to say, let me just do it?
Yeah. Man, I would say the first thing I hear people say is like, well, I don't know about timing. Like, maybe I'll do it later. Like, we hear that a lot. And we constantly say this because me and Chelsea as entrepreneurs, like we see this all the time. It's never good timing. Like,
Never,
like our whole
never.
family got sick last week. It's not good timing to like run a challenge. I'm still recovering from a cough, but we're doing it. We're showing up. And that's the first skill set. If you're going to own a business, you got to learn to show up. And even when it's bad timing. And so if you register for this thing and something happens between now and then, don't be surprised. Like it's just a challenge to overcome and say like, no, I'm going to do this thing. And so
Yeah.
that's a big one is like, it's usually never a good time, which means it's always a good time. And
Yep.
so don't believe the lie that like, I don't know. I'll do it later. The people that say that they never do, you know.
Yeah.
The second thing I would say is we just welcome the skepticism, that's totally normal. When we heard about this whole Amazon thing and we were kind of like, I don't know, really,
Yeah.
is that oversaturated? So we lean into a lot of those questions because we get that people have them. And I can't tell you how many people come into our world say, I thought this was a scam. I never click on stuff like this. And I'm so thankful I did because it changed
Yeah.
my life,
Yeah.
and we've had people launch businesses literally just off this challenge, like the Rain Games. Um, Literally just off of that. Of course, we have more in-depth coaching programs and ways you can work with us that we will offer at the end of the Rain Games challenge. And really transparent with that at the beginning. Like we'd love to go the distance with you. We'd love to give you more one-on-one coaching. But we've had people, I mean, I saw someone post the other day, she just crossed 7 figures in her business, so $1 million. She literally is not following our whole method, but she took one of the days of the challenge. And literally that one day gave her the skill set that she needed to launch her
Wow.
business. And she's like, she just bought a warehouse. She's like hiring women in
Yeah.
her town. She has a women owned business and like employing like, people in her town now, like literally off of
Yeah.
one day of the challenge. I was like,
That's
oh my gosh,
amazing.
that's crazy. So, we do give a lot in these challenges. I tend to overteach, which is I just like it that way. And so
Yeah.
if you want to take it and run, awesome. If you like what you're hearing, you want to work with us more in depth, we do have, coaching opportunities where you can get a one-on-one coach that'll hold your hand through the whole journey. But we're big believers in the taste and see model. We're just like, hey, it's kind of like Costco. Get a sample of what we do. If you like it,
Yeah.
let's do some more. If you don't, then no worries. Like
No
it's all
worries.
good.
At least you tried it and you know where to come back to.
Yeah.
I always believe in like sometimes like somebody is just like they're the sprinkle. They like
Mhm.
planted the seed and there's going to be a time where you're like that person was right or let me go back to that thing. And
Yeah.
there's never I think those two go hand in hand, right? The two tips you gave is there's never a perfect time, which means right now is always the perfect time. Um and like maybe it all doesn't click for you. You go through every day of the challenge, like it all doesn't click, but like one thing gave you the skill set to
Hmm.
like go deep and either say, let me get some coaching, some one-on-one, let me see what the other programs are. Or maybe now is not the right time, or oh shoot, that was the thing I needed in the thing I'm already doing. And now I
Yeah.
got the skill set to like launch a seven-figure business where I am an employer in my town. That is a dream of mine to
So
give
cool.
other people jobs. Like that like it's literally if that was me I'd be like crying every day because it's I know that there some people just need money, like some people just need money, and for me it's I'm building something because some people literally like right now the barrier is money. Give you the
Hmm.
money, give you the employment, give you the chance, and you'll shine, right? And I feel like that is like a piece of like my mission and
So
purpose in
cool.
life, and so to hear that story I'm like I'm sold. I am bought in. You will see me at
I love it.
Rainmaker at Rain Games. I'm so excited.
She can be a fierce
I
competitor.
am
You guys watch out.
I am competitive too. But truly, I'm like, I want to learn some stuff. I want to change my life for for my kids, and I want to do that alongside some other like really amazing families and mamas and dads and grandparents and aunts and godparents and whoever else like needs an opportunity. This is like a great time for this. So thank you, Stephen, for joining me today. Y'all make sure you go follow at the Rainmaker family on Instagram. Check out the podcast and also come do the challenge with me. Rainmakerlinks.com/parent porch. It is free. You have nothing to lose, and I believe everything to gain. Which is why we were like, today we are going live during somebody's lunch break.
Love it.
Make sure you share, tag with your friends. We'll make sure that this video gets reposted as well on our YouTube and on our Instagram and TikTok pages so that you can see it and hear from Steven. I really enjoyed this time with you. Time flew by. It's 35
Yeah.
minutes, and I
Wow.
and I can't believe it. You shared so many good nuggets, so much good advice. I'm excited to learn with you next week. I'm serious. I did sign up. I know y'all think she's just saying that. No, I really did on my own personal email account, not even Parent Porch.
Nice.
So I'll see you next week. I will share if y'all are cool with that. Like I'll come back and share some insights when I go live, just so you can
Cool.
see
Yeah.
and hopefully I win something. That would be cool.
Yes.
That'd be cool to win. And also, it'd be cool to have someone who says, like, I joined the Parent Porch live stream on a whim on a
Yeah.
Thursday and I won $75,000 like at the end of these games a week later. That is my hope. I don't want it to be me. I want it to be somebody else. Like somebody who just said on a whim, I needed something. And there was
Mm.
Dom and Steven chatting and we did it. So let's make that happen.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you so much for joining me today. Y'all have a great day. Never miss a live. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Get a little mama crew today. Make a group chat and let's all succeed together. I believe that there is power in numbers and there's power in energy. And so let's do this. Thank you so much, Stephen. Send your
Yeah.
wife our love and support, hoping that healing comes through that house ASAP so that you get better, so that you have all the strength you need for next week.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day, y'all. We're sending you all love and the best, and you'll see me on our next Tune In Tuesday next week.